Hey, and welcome to Discard. Today I've got a few different ideas that have been sent in by viewers like you in the comment section or on Discord or on different social media. And there's a bunch of really cool ones in there and a bunch of outside the box ideas. So let's take a look. So the first idea today comes in from Rick's Retro Game Room over on Instagram, and he sent me a couple messages showing me different ideas, and one of his ideas is dust covers for the Super Nintendo. So essentially Rick decided to take the dust covers off of some of his Super Nintendo games, or maybe had some extras that he wasn't using for his Super Nintendo games, and decided to display different games inside of them. The games that I think work the best for these is going to be your Game Boy games or other kind of larger handheld type games, and they work for a number of those. They also work for other smaller things. You could put Switch cartridges inside of these, but they're just not going to display as well. I like this idea as kind of a hack for the game room, because a lot of people are going to have those dust covers for their Super Nintendo games and then also want a way to display their Game Boy games. It could definitely be a pretty cool idea to have a few of these out on your countertop and then display some of your classic Game Boy games in them, and it looks just really cool sitting out there on the shelf, as well as the fact that you're able to see that artwork of each one of those game cartridges that's sitting inside of these. But really what makes this a great display idea is that the dust cover itself isn't so intrusive. It's not a big, large thing that's sitting out there on your desk, and for the most part you're going to be looking at those video games, which is what we're all about displaying. So I definitely wanted to get that idea in here because I thought it's pretty cool. A lot of people are going to have access to those dust covers, and I think it works well overall. The next idea comes in from another viewer called Mumfa the Ever Living, and he sent in an idea for this board game that is mostly overseas from me, but he said it worked fantastic for a lot of different games, especially handheld cartridges. The game stands that he recommended come from a game called Rummikub, and I think it's more of a European game. I can't be too sure. I'm sure that they made some here in the United States, but you could certainly find these in the US on eBay for a very low price. Now the stands that I got from this game are kind of a tiered display. They have these little black pieces that kind of hold it up at an angle and allow those cartridges to kind of sit on there at a good angle, and it all works out and looks beautiful. I can definitely confirm that this works for a wide range of different handheld cartridges, like your Game Boy games. Most of them will work on this, unless they have an odd shape to them, like some of those cartridges that have the rumble feature. Some of your smaller cartridges all work, like your 3DS and your DS and your Switch cartridges, and they all look great on there. This thing rivals some of the other stands that are out on the market that are specifically designed for these cartridges, and it looks great. And just the amount of different cartridges that you can put on this stand makes it well worth looking into, especially due to the price of these being so low. You could fit a ton of different cartridges on here and have it on your shelf and display your entire collection of cartridges. If you have them all outside of box, this is a great way to do that. And speaking of outside the box, this was certainly an outside the box idea, and it's just really cool that he looked at these and saw a way to display his games in his collection. And I'm glad that he shared that with us so we could share it with everybody else. Now, a number of viewers over a wide range of videos have recommended a fishing tackle box as a way to display and also organize their collection of Game Boy or other small cartridges. And after some testing, I can definitely say it works for a large amount of different cartridges. Even some of your large cartridges will work as a display inside of this box. Now, most of these boxes come with these little dividers that you can put in there that allow you to kind of moderate the size of the section of which you're going to be displaying something. And you can see that those sections are, generally speaking, going to be smaller than the width of a Game Boy cartridge. So that's something to keep in mind. For a Game Boy cartridge, you're going to want to keep those slots a little bit wider so you can display those as well, or just get rid of the dividers altogether. But those slots are definitely wide enough for, say, a Game Boy Advance game on its side. I know a lot of people have done that and displayed their cartridges that way. I even used to do that myself, and a lot of these boxes also allow you to take the tops off of them. So you can take that top off and just have that base to display your games with. And of course you have the bonus that the actual box itself closes, so you can keep dust off of your cartridges, you can lay your cartridges down flat inside of there, and keep them safe from whatever's in your space. But overall, I think it's a pretty good idea for displaying some cartridges, especially if you already have a tackle box. This This is a really easy way to reuse that and use it in your game collection and make your cartridges look awesome. But I would definitely recommend looking for one you can take the top off of and is as clear as possible. And that'll make it so your cartridges are the forefront of everything, and really you're just looking at those. And as a quick footnote to that idea, when I was out there looking for this tackle box, I also found a bead holder that is also completely clear, and you can put your Game Boy Advance games, your DS or your 3DS games into, and be able to see that artwork completely. So that works really well as well. And the last idea today, and probably my favorite and the most ingenuitive idea, comes from somebody called Mark Blaze Honda, also on Instagram. Mark sent a message that he'd found a way to use shaver refill containers as a display unit for different cartridges. So essentially what Mark had figured out was that you could take these little tiny plastic containers that would hold the shaver heads for your shaver and take the shaver heads out of there and then reuse these little plastic holders for holding a bunch of different cartridges. And when I saw the photo of this on his Instagram page, I was definitely convinced that this worked fantastic for a number of different small cartridges in people's collections. Now what Mark was using these for was actually his memory cards, and he was displaying all of those memory cards in this way, and they looked really good. I didn't have a ton of memory cards sitting around, so I decided to mess with some of the cartridges in my collection and found out that those work really well. Now the shaver refills that I purchased, I actually got just some off-brand ones that didn't have any names or marking on the plastic container, and that allowed me to use this as just a complete display without having any logo on there that would be showing in my collection. The cartridges that specifically fit inside of these, the best ones is going to be your 3DS and your DS family of cartridges, because they look great and they fit perfectly in the small slots for these shaver heads. But I also did test out Nintendo Switch cartridges, and even though they're smaller and don't completely fill up that gap, they do look awesome inside of these little displays. Now I'm sure that you could find some of these that are larger and that were designed for more shaver heads, but I got these smaller ones, and that allows me to put them anywhere in my game collection. So I could put them on the corner of a shelf, or I could put them on top of a countertop and really have all of that space to do whatever I want with. But for the most part, these are very thin and small, and they're completely clear plastic, which makes up a perfect display unit for your game cartridges. So I definitely recommend looking into these. Even if you don't have a shaver or extras shaver head holders, you could get these online for super cheap and then use them in your game collection to display some of your cartridges. And I've got to say that this idea specifically completely blew my mind, because it kind of opened up an entire new field to look into for displaying different things. And I really love finding those things. So thanks for coming and checking out Discard today. If you have any other ideas on how to display things in a game room or game collection, please leave them in the comments below. I'm always looking for more ideas, and I'll certainly look into making another video like this in the future. If you want to help out Discard past the subscription, please check out patreon.com/discard. Check out all the awesome stuff you can get for $2 a month. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. But otherwise, have a great day and collect what you love.